Hi there, Pastor Lanre here. Welcome to another interesting episode of Pastor Lanre Uncensored. Today, I've got another exciting episode of Pastor Lanre Uncensored. As I grew up in life, I realized that there was a statement that people make to define something, and they will talk about the green-eyed monster. And the green-eyed monster is what is used to describe jealousy. Today, I want to talk to you about jealousy. How jealousy can be dealt with within the context of a relationship. Sit back, relax, get ready for this ride. And before we continue, please join me as we worship together with the very anointed Doris Francis. Welcome back. Wasn't that a powerful and awesome time of worship with Doris Francis? So today, I want to talk about jealousy. But I'm going to start by telling you some of the things I have heard. And this I heard from a lady. And I am going to call her name Cynthia. All right? So, Cynthia talks to me, and Cynthia says, I really love my husband. I will do anything for my husband. But his jealousy is driving me crazy and is threatening to break our marriage. He is so jealous. Listen to this. is so jealous that when we go out to a restaurant to eat, he makes me sit back in the entrance and facing the wall so that nobody sees me and I can see only him. If he sees me discussing with a colleague, it becomes an issue. And if I as much as laugh with someone of the opposite sex, he automatically assumes that I am having an affair. In fact, he banned me from talking to an 80-year-old married man who was living next door because he is so jealous, he does not even allow me the right to choose my own friends. Cynthia continues, and Cynthia says, at first, I was very flattered by the intensity of his jealous attention. I loved the fact that he came at me like that. But as months rolled into years, I started having anxiety attacks because of his clinginess. I am being suffocated in this marriage and I am dying slowly. Can anybody or somebody please help me? Now, that situation kind of summarizes many of the things happening in many relationships and many marriages where one of the partner is dealing with an extreme issue or case of jealousy. It is said that a bit of jealousy is good, that it can add zest. You know, it can spice up a marriage or a relationship. But this is what I want to say about jealousy. Just like a spark can brighten up a room, a spark can set the whole house on fire. Jealousy misappropriated, not properly handled, can burn down your whole relationship that you have used years and years and years to build. So how do we deal with jealousy in a relationship? The first thing is you must understand where jealousy is coming from. Jealousy is basically coming from fear. Fear of loss. Fear of losing the relationship, losing the person, fear of loss of respect, fear of loss of face. But at the root of jealousy is fear. And basically, it is because people do not want to lose the things that they feel that value, they put a high premium on. Fear makes the feelings of insecurity jump through the roof. Fear will amplify whatever cracks you already have in your makeup. Fear is that thing that amplifies whatever is not whole within your person. And fear, if left unchecked, can destroy your marriage. Apart from fear, in fact, not apart from fear, this kind of fear gives birth to anger, it gives birth to anxiety, it gives birth to hate, disgust, self-disgust, or even a feeling of hopelessness. So, let's talk about this thing. Where does this fear of loss come from? Where does the fear of loss come from? I am glad you asked. Number one, fear of loss comes from past experiences. So, if you are in a relationship with someone who's been cheated on, and that person has not healed properly, you've heard the saying, right? Once bitten, twice shy. In fact, they say it's once bitten, forever shy. You can fool me once, you can fool me twice, but fooling me 3 times becomes a bit of a problem. So when people have had negative experiences prior to this present experience, they suffer from this kind of fear. So if you find a man who was cheated on, he's going to come into a new relationship telling himself, I've been made a fool of before, I won't be made a fool of again. It is the same thing with a woman. If a woman was cheated on before, she comes into a new relationship, and if she didn't properly heal, and this is both ways, both sexes, if they don't properly heal from the pain of a previous relationship, usually people carry all of that into their new relationships, and they are making their present partner suffer for the mistake of the person in their past. And you want to ask yourself, are you making your spouse suffer for the mistake of your ex-girlfriend? Are you making your husband suffer for the mistake or the misdemeanor of your ex-boyfriend? People develop this fear from past experiences. Another place where this fear comes from is other people's experiences. So you are close to someone, and the person was taken for a ride, and they were being cheated on and they did not know. Do you know that we all have a tendency, especially if the people that have experienced those things are close to us, we have a tendency to make other people's experience our experience. That's why you now see a lady who grew up in a house where the father was abusive, take on that persona and take up that stance and say, never again will any man abuse me. You were not the one abused. You were not the one that your father was mistreated. In fact, most fathers love their children and mistreat their mothers, and I don't know how that works. But that's a different kind of problem. But you will find out that children who grew up in those kind of houses almost arrogate that pain to be theirs and take a stance in life that because I have seen this thing, it will never happen to me, and you make your husband suffer for the sins of your father. Meanwhile, this person came to you on a blank page. All right? And you are making them suffer for the sins of someone they did not even know existed. Another place where this fear comes from is the stories we were told. And I like to say these are the agents of our socialization. For instance, in some part of the world, if you live in Nigeria, where I live, and I don't know where you're watching from different tribes, people have a way of saying that people from particular tribes have things that have personality traits. Let me put it that way. So someone will say, an Igbo man likes money. A Yoruba man is a coward. And is it an Hausa man? All right, you know the English. All right. A Hausa man, is in a particular way. It's the same way where you look at women from different parts of the country and they just assume, and I'm not going to name any part, they say, people from this side of the country, they are promiscuous. Now you grow up with all of that, and then now it is your time to fall in love. And then you fall in love with someone from that part of the country. Unwittingly to you, unknowingly to you, all of that is in your subconscious, guiding your every relationship or interaction with this person. So you are making this person suffer for something your uncle told you based on an experience that they cannot validate or verify, and you personalize it, and you are letting somebody else suffer in your own relationship. So we all need to be careful of some of our past experiences, of the things that have happened to people that are close to us, and of the things that we have been told. Because all of these things go into our subconscious and they affect our decision-making processes. So you are now relating with this person who's come into your life on a plain page, on a blank page, and you are bringing all of this baggage and putting it on them and dealing with them as if they are the ones who wronged you. Now, one of the things I say is this: how do you deal with jealousy? See, if you are in a marriage, there are things you must understand about the sexes. There is a way women are, and we must commend women for their intuition. Unfortunately, that intuition can be warped and can be turned into a tool of manipulation. All right? Men have instincts. And unfortunately also for men, that instinct can be turned into a tool for manipulation. Pastor Lanre, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the fact that I trust your intuition. There are things I know a woman can pick up from another woman that I may not be able to pick up, I may be oblivious to, should not become a tool in your hand to control me from who gets into my friend's circle, because now I trust your intuition. The same goes for men. I always advise and I say to women, you must also trust your husband's instinct. There's a way a man can pick up from another man, and you that you are a lady, you don't even understand. Maybe it's the way he's looking at you. Maybe it's the way he stands when he talks to you. Now, guy man, they know guy man. There is a way he can be that you are not seeing it. You are seeing a very cordial, jovial person, and your husband is seeing a predator. You must learn to also trust the instincts of your husband, in as much as we advise husbands to trust the intuition of their wives. But both parties must also understand that these things can become a tool for manipulation, where you can now say, based on my instincts, you cannot be friends with this, you can't be friends with that, you can't be friends with this, you can't be friends. And that is not a marriage. See, let me say this to everybody. It is a marriage, not a prison. Read my lips. It is marriage, it is not prison. So there are certain liberties that you see. If you really love someone, okay, I'm going to preempt myself now. You must be willing to truly love someone. You must be willing to give them the ability to choose you, even when they have the options of choosing others. It was exactly what God did for us. But he allowed us to come to him. He presented grace to us and allowed us to come to him of our own volition. I keep saying to married people, see, there's a difference between I want to and I have to. I want to is, I love you so much, I can't wait to be back from work, I want to be with you. I have to is, you are a lion, you make my life miserable. If I stay 5 minutes late from work because you have me on a clock, like some wound up toy, it becomes an issue. So I have to be back at home. There's a huge difference between that. And you need to ask yourself, what is your relationship like? Is it a I want to relationship, or is it a I have to relationship? So, let's get to the crux of the matter. What fuels jealousy? Oh, this is so good. Hear me. At the root of what fuels jealousy is an imagination on rampage. Imagination that is disruptive. See, imagination is a great thing. So you can imagine yourself. Oh, you're making me preempt myself. This is so good. The same way, you don't have to have been to a beach in Florida or to have been to Santorini, but you can imagine yourself in Santorini, and if your imagination is vivid enough, you will begin to feel the relaxation of someone that is lying down on the beach in Santorini. You begin to feel the feelings of someone lying down on the beach in Santorini. That is imagination positively used. Imagination on rampage, negatively used, is you can begin to imagine that your husband that went to work is sleeping with the tea girl in the office, and you begin to feel the emotion, even though there's no evidence to verify it. The same way, you can feel the emotion of lying down on a beach in Santorini without any evidence in your passport to show that you have been to Santorini. It's the same way you can be in your house or be in your office, and this thing takes over your mind, and you are imagining how she walks into the room, how she sets down the cup, and how she walks over to his desk, and how blah, 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 blah. And it is vivid, it is clear in your mind that when the person shows up, you are almost convinced that they have cheated on you. At the root of jealousy is an imagination that is wrongly used. How, and I'm out of time, all right? How do you deal with jealousy? Number one, it's simple, it is straightforward. Believe your partner. just believe them. Choose to believe them. If they lie to you, that is on them, not on you. But choose to believe them. Take them at their word. Just choose to believe your spouse. Where are you coming from? I am coming from work. Choose to believe them. You know why? Because at times your constant querying of their motives and constant questioning them and trying to find out the nitty-gritties of is an insult to them. It is an insult to the person that has not done anything. So one of the things you can do to deal with jealousy is just believe your partner. Believe that they are saying the truth. Believe that when they say they love you, they really love you. Believe that if they say, oh, I was just hanging out with the boys, they're hanging out with the boys. Just believe them. Practice believing them in small things. If he says he's going to pay the school fees, believe he's going to pay the school fees. If he says he's going to pay the house rent, believe he's going to. So that if something happens and your intuition is saying, I don't like the way you are, and if you are Cynthia, I'm really sorry. You're just in my mouth today, and I'm using you. And all right. And he says it's coming from work, and your mind or your intuition already tells you that he was with Cynthia. Just believe him. You know why? A lie does not hide for too long. Eventually the truth is going to come out. But please don't impute accusations on your partner that cannot be verified because your imagination is just on rampage. You will destroy a good thing if you keep on living like that. All right? Number 2 thing you can do to stop jealousy or to deal with jealousy in your relationship is stop comparing yourself to others. Just stop it. The Bible says that they that compare themselves with themselves, they are not wise. See, not all, but most jealousy is driven by a sense of low self-esteem. There are even people who feel, after being married for almost 10 years, who still feel that they don't deserve the man that they got. So, because they already have those internal flaws, internal issues, they feel everybody is out to get him. So, they keep comparing themselves to every other person who comes around the object of their affection. Stop comparing yourself with anybody. He chose you. She chose you. She could have chosen a myriad of other people, but she chose you. You see, in this life, where all of us are going to meet people that are finer than us, that are richer than us, that are more youthful, that are better looking, but you must understand your spouse chose you. You know, if they interact with other people and do all the, eventually they are going home with you. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop comparing yourself to someone else. I find it interesting that people say, oh, how can someone that looks so good, how can they marry me? They've married you now for 10 years. And you still have those internal questions. You feel they are too good for you. That is not on them. That is on you, whether you are the man or you are the woman. There are men that draw their self-esteem from the women they married. And every time it's always, is it because you are so fine? That's why you are. So it clouds their judgment because they are constantly comparing themselves with other people. There will always be people that are better. There will always be people that are finer, that are taller, that are slimmer, that are fitter, that are in better shape. There will always be people like that. But just remember this. Your spouse chose you. Your partner chose you. You are the real deal. You know, some even ask that question. And they ask you this question, why do you love me? You know, it is such a difficult question to answer. Why do you love me? See, it's easy for me to say, I love you because you make me laugh. I love you because you're smart. I love you because you're pretty, you're handsome, you're sensitive, you're this. But understand this. There is an inexplicable, undefinable. He really knows. It is a lot of things, but there are still elements of it that cannot be described. It is the same with you as a person. There is an undefinable, inexplicable aspect of your humanity that draws people into your space. That is why they love you. And you must trust them that they mean what they are saying. Are you still here? There's a deep part of you that people connect to that they cannot even explain. That is what makes love, love. You know, especially for us that are Christians, is how you say, why does God love me? You know, many times you say things like, how can a God like you love a man like me? Because you've looked at yourself and all your flaws, but there is an inexplicable, undefinable aspect of you that keeps drawing God to you, that you cannot explain. Possibly only Him can explain. But words will fail all of us in explaining that. All right, number 3, dealing with jealousy. Number 3, be prepared. Be prepared, there will be bumps on the road. All right? You see, I already told you that jealousy at times is driven by low self-esteem. But do you know that jealousy can also be driven by high self-esteem? Yeah, because at times, people with very high self-esteem always feel that they should be the center of everyone's attention. And if that attention is taken from them, they go into a jealous rage. They feel that, why should you look at anybody else when I'm in the room? Why should you say hi to another man when you are with me? You shouldn't as much as even cast a glance in their direction. Why would you even look at another woman if I'm standing beside you? All right? Because people with high self-esteem also have these issues. And the problem with people with high self-esteem also is they have a tendency, now this is not general for everyone, but most of them have a tendency to treat other people as properties that should be owned, that should be guarded, that should be told when to sit, when to stand. They always want to be in charge. If you truly love somebody, free them. There are some liberties you must give them. I'm going to say it again. It's a marriage. It's not prison. Let them want to be with you, not necessarily have to be with you. I will close with this, even though I'm not out of points, but I'm out of time. Don't play games. Don't play games. A lot of people in the bid to command the attention of their spouses play these games where they are flirting with other people to get their spouse jealous so that their attention can come back to them. Let me tell you what jealousy is. It's a monster. You open that can, you let that monster out, you may not be able to put it back in the cage. So don't play games. I hope with these few words I've been able to help you to deal with jealousy in your marriage. Until I come your way next time, keep loving your partners totally, absolutely. Enjoy the wife of your youth. Enjoy the husband of your youth. May your relationships and your marriages be sweet. Thank you very much. See you when I see you.